This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. New evidence has emerged in the death of Michael Brown, the 18-year-old African-American teenager who was shot dead by Ferguson, Missouri police officer on August 9th, sparking 2 weeks of protests. On Monday night, CNN aired an audio tape allegedly recording the moment Brown was shot. On the recording, at least 10 gunshots can be heard. A private autopsy had earlier shown Brown was shot at least 6 times, twice in the head. The new audio recording has not been independently verified. An unidentified resident of Ferguson gave the recording to the FBI. On the recording, you can hear the man video chatting in a building near where Brown was killed. As he says, "You're so pretty." 6 gunshots can be heard in the distance, then a pause, then 4 more shots. This is the audio. It lasts about 10 seconds. Focus on the gunshots in the background, not the conversation.
You are pretty. You're so fine. Just going over some of your videos. How could I forget?
That, again, is audio of a video chat allegedly recorded at the same time that Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson fatally shot unarmed teenager Michael Brown. CNN first played the tape Monday night, saying it had been handed over to the FBI by a Ferguson resident. Earlier in the day, more than 2,500 people filled the sanctuary of Friendly Temple Missionary Baptist Church in St. Louis for Michael Brown's funeral. Another 2,000 packed into overflow rooms. Hours before the service began, hundreds lined up outside to pay their respects. Democracy Now!'s Aaron Mate was there and brings us some of their voices.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart.
We're at the Friendly Temple Missionary Baptist Church for the funeral of Michael Brown. Just moments ago, the Brown family entering, Michael Brown Sr. and Leslie McSpadden leading a large contingent of family members into this church for the funeral of their son. When we arrived, there was a crowd outside singing, "We Shall Overcome," and we spoke to some of those who were waiting in line to pay their respects.
On Lavelle, we're here to support the Mike Brown family and the people in general, you know, and so that we can all get together and we're not letting just anything go down out here, you know, and we stand for justice for the Mike Brown family.
My name is Crystal Williams. What happened to my son here in Florissant, they was 9 and 10 years old. I was living out there, and my son had got a ticket for a Snickers bar, and I didn't know about it. Well, in that county, they issue a warrant. They kicked down my door. They put 9mm on my kid's head, and they went number 9, 10, 11 years old with my nephews. That day, they took my kids, locked them up for 30 days. 30 days over a Snickers bar, as well as put 9mm and kicked in my house. That day, my whole life changed. I had to relocate my life to Minnesota because I knew then that my boys was gonna die here. So it changed my whole life. So I knew, as well as I knew he killed him, they was gonna kill my children.
You felt as if the police here were a threat to your children?
Absolutely, I knew. My mom had told me when I moved out there, that's the KKK, but I didn't listen. But it took them to put 9mm on my son's head at 10, 11 years old.
So when you heard about Michael Brown's killing, what was your reaction?
What was my reaction? Immediately the streets. Immediately. No second thought. I had to get out there, and if I have to die today, I will for my grandchild. I'm not running from St. Louis no more. No more.
My name is Edward Harris. I ain't gonna lie, I was real angry because I'm tired of seeing young black unarmed men, just people period, getting killed by the police. Police are supposed to protect and serve. And you know, if they can't protect and serve us, then you know who can? We gotta stand up and protect ourselves. Because they not gonna do it, they gonna gun us down. That's how I feel.
You could have used your taser. What is y'all tasers for? Right. If y'all, you know, you just pulling out your gun and shooting, that's pointless. That makes you look bad, and you know, people gonna go the wrong way. Like, I'm not against the frustration, but the loitering and all that stuff, yeah, that makes sense because people is mad. You don't do stuff like that.
Our backs against the wall, you know. It didn't make it right with us looting and rioting, but I mean, what else can we do? You know, we took the Martin Luther King approach, you know, protesting and peace, but there's no peace and there's no justice, but there will be justice. In this case, I really do believe.
I'm George Fields, and I'm here for Mike Brown, and mostly for all black men walking down the street stuck in, not being able to go out in the county, seriously, sir, because we like city is a little more lenient with ticket values and stuff, and we have just been ticketed over much over there, and then it leads to other crimes, you know. It's just you can't go past the county. You cannot go in the county. I'm fearful of the county. I've been stuck in the city for 6 or 7 years because the county has been that bad. My kids stay in the county. I can't see them. I got to sneak to see my kids. I have to sneak to see my kids because my plate might be bad or something. You know, I'm poor, and I'm trying to drive around to get better. But, you know, they won't ticket you. They just take your stuff immediately. You know, if you take it, the tow thing is ready, you know, every time.
My name is Ann Hamilton. This is something that I never thought that I'd live to see. I heard about different things that happened. I know about Martin Luther King. I know about Emmett Till, but I am actually living something that should have stopped years and years ago. They're celebrating Miss Frankie Freeman, the first civil rights lady, appointed by 4 presidents this year, her 50th anniversary. And now we have to deal with this still happening in the city of St. Louis, anywhere. Injustice is everywhere. You know, if there is a rightful way, and there is, through the power of voting, through the power of getting involved, but we just want, as African American, to be treated fairly and to be given the same advantage. This is like we're still in a one-room schoolhouse.
They used to be the snatchers, shooting killers, and they want all our young black men out of here. And that's wrong. That's wrong. And I'm sick of it because I've been out here trying to help a change for us because we human just like everybody else.
My name is Rita Sadipo.
Do you think things have changed since the killing?
I think so, because even as I drive on the highway, I don't feel as though, because I live all the way in O'Fallon now, but I grew up right here in this neighborhood, but I don't feel as much stress. Because it would be times when I'm driving from O'Fallon, that's a predominantly white area, and every time I would drive, I would see a lot of police officers pulling over black drivers. So I haven't seen that since this incident.
And what do you attribute that to?
Us being vocal, letting people be aware, letting the world know the type of discrimination that we have here in St. Louis, Missouri.
And you brought your son today?
I did. He wanted to be a part of this. Yes. I don't know if he's going to say anything, but yes, he wanted to be a part of this because that could have been my son. I have 3 sons. I have a 14, a 17, and a 22-year-old. That could have easily been my son. Easily, because they discriminate against our black men all the time.
My name is Cornell Hassan, and I'm here in support of Michael Brown's family and the peace effort that they are trying to bring into being and to bury this young man. It's a culmination of a lot of problems here in St. Louis. No jobs, lack of education, the school system is falling apart. It's a lot of problems here, and we see it as a systematic destruction of the black community.
My name's Cheyenne, but I'm with an organization called The Lost Voices. Without us standing up for what we believe in, we're going to keep going through this. It may go away temporary, but we're going to keep going through it and keep going through it. That's why we're standing on our grounds. We're not going to let anyone make us feel like we can't speak up or we don't have our freedom of speech.
Hi, my name is Matthew Fogg. I'm a retired Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal. One of the things I'm here for is looking at this department and the disparities when you look at the number of police officers that are here that are white versus black. You look at an incident here that has occurred that has been sort of endemic to the country, really, when we look at things that have been going on around the country, the chokehold death of the young man in New York City, we go Trayvon Martin, and we can just go on and on and on talking about disparities. Why are these police tactical homicides taking place against disproportionate against minorities? We see a young man that was shot down that was unarmed. And the questions are, the community has a right to ask these questions. Civil unrest, disturbance, they're concerned. When I look at the militarization of the police department, and I see the type of armored personnel carriers, the vehicles. I've done a lot of SWAT training. I know what these weapons will do. And when they bring in these types of weapons and machinery for something of this nature, it says to me it's overkill.
Patricia Alexander, to support Mike Brown's parents.
Do you know them?
No, I don't personally know them, but as a mother of a victim, I wanted to show my support.
What happened to your child?
My child was killed. He wasn't killed by a police officer or nothing, but he was killed 3 years ago. And so I know that mother's pain. So that's why I'm here, to show my support for that mother and the rest of the family.
Having lost a child, what message do you have for Michael Brown's parents?
To just keep their trust in God. Just keep their trust in God. Hold their head up, because that void, she would never be able to replace that void in her life. But as long as she keep asking God for strength, she'll make it through. She'll be able to get up every day and know that her son is always here. Can't nobody ever take that away.
The voices of just a few of the mourners among thousands who came to say goodbye to Michael Brown at his funeral on Monday. When we come back, we'll hear highlights from the funeral, including Michael Brown's cousin, the family's lawyer, Benjamin Crump, and the Reverend Al Sharpton. Stay with us.
He saw the best in me when everyone else around could only see the worst in me. Oh, he saw the best in me. When everyone else around could only see the worst in me. Can I get a witness in the room this morning? Oh, he saw the best in me. When everyone else around, they could only see